Alright, so we just got done watching that long documentary. I say it was long, it was relatively short. It was sad, man. I don't even know what to think, dude. Like, what the heck, dude? Like, I mean, it's already happened, and I know there's nothing I can do about it, but it's just like, I get so frustrated when I see people who can do something and they choose to do nothing about a situation. And even though things have come to terms and they did the right thing by impeaching the president, etc. It's such a massive loss, dude. Such a massive loss. Moving forward with this, we're gonna watch the explanation of Spring Day and understand what they were trying to say about it. I won't do this very often. I don't normally watch explanations immediately after, but I feel like this video deserves the attention. And you guys forgive me if this is such a long series that I'm doing over one video, but I feel like it's important for me to understand and to connect in a cultural aspect with the group, with people, and with the situation. And I feel very, like, almost depressed about it, but I mean, I guess that's how you should feel in a situation like this. But like, what do you do? What do you do? I mean, it's just, we're educated now, but I'm almost like regretting the fact that I watched it, because now I'm just like, I feel awful. So we're gonna try to move forward and watch this video and see what the video is talking about and what they're trying to explain, and hopefully this can move us forward. We get a little bit of closure on the situation. This is gonna be bugging me for a couple days. This is awful. Alright, let's see what they were saying. Oh great, sad music. I will be pausing to read this out loud for anyone who has a phone and can't read, because of the size of their screen, so please forgive me. Taeyoung's feeling survivor's guilt. That's what I'm feeling right now. Guilt of having survived while his friends have passed. Many people who have lost their loved ones often feel like committing suicide themselves so they can meet the other person in the afterlife. She feels guilty about surviving. I came out of this alive, but my friends didn't. That was a quote. So I was close. All the abandoned suitcases. Oh no, I didn't even notice, dude. I just thought it was part of the setup. They represent all the students who went on their field trip with all their belongings and never came back. Widely known, the Korean government has been heavily criticized by the way they handled the tragedy. The media didn't report the full truth, and the families kept in the dark about what happened for 3 fucking years, dude. And the captain told them to stay in their rooms instead of evacuating. Most of the students drowned while the captain and many crew members evacuated the sinking ship. Let's not get this twisted. The captain was the first one off the boat. In the lyrics of Spring Day, Snowpiercer. Snowpiercer is a movie of Korean director Joo-ho. I'm not gonna butcher that name. It's a Korean movie. The movie takes place entirely on a train. The movie symbolizes a human society where the people in the front of the train, upper class government, treat the tail of the train, regular people, in an inhumane way. Which, if you're watching right now, Snowpiercer is a TV show in America. It's a very good show, and it is exactly the way it is portrayed. I know it's a movie. I haven't seen the movie yet because I kind of don't want to spoil the TV show. But you could grasp the fact that the president in this tragedy couldn't even be bothered with getting out of bed to handle the situation. They needed more in order to make it viable for them to even do anything about it, which is complete BS.
Belong to the front. You belong to the tail. Know your place. Keep your place.
How younger people and ordinary citizens in South Korea are expected to always follow orders, even if it means being oppressed by authorities, just like what happened to the students on the ferry. I feel like that, maybe not in that aspect of young versus old, but I feel like we're going through the same thing in America right now with everything going on with Black Lives Matter and authority of police and government officials and one guy finally decides to revolt against the injustice, so he sets out towards the front of the train to confront train owners, which are representative of the government. And here, Rat Monster's doing the same. Y'all excuse me, I'm gonna pull out my recliner real quick. My footrest. I'm gonna get comfortable. Alright, let's see. Omelas is the name of a fictional town. Hang on. It's from the book The Ones Who Walk Away from Omelas. The story of a utopian society whose survival and happiness depends on the suffering of a child. I've read that one. Okay, so for those of you who haven't read the Ones Who Walk Away from Omelas, if this is the book that I'm thinking about, it's about the stoning of a child and whether or not it's just. And it's almost like the town holds a lottery to see who's gonna be next. And they never mention it throughout the story, but everyone is fighting over this lottery, hoping that they don't get selected, but at the same time knowing that someone has to get selected, and it ends up being a kid. And everyone does it. Everyone is okay with it because it has to happen. Now, I could be getting the wrong story. But if I remember right, that's what the story's about. That was a horrible story. Someone's happiness and prosperity means someone else's suffering. There are those who ignore the suffering to stay happy. Ignorance is bliss. And then there are those who walk away from it, which is also ignorance. Omelas is full of people, which means no vacancy. And Rat Monster represents walking forwards to confront it. Scene mirrors a scene in Snowpiercer where the main character reaches the middle of the train. He's attacked by people who would not let the rebels through. Although it looks like a fun scene, it's actually not. Rat Monster's somber expression. He's trying to confront injustice in society and government, but people are bringing him down and literally throwing things at him. Jin represents the ones who have passed away, and he looks up at all the others who are climbing up, growing up, while he's stuck at the bottom, unable to grow up and go with them. The rusty merry-go-round represents behind Jungkook represents a lost childhood. And the next few scenes are basically survivors of a tragedy, going about with their regular lives, having fun with friends, doing usual growing up stuff. And still feel empty because of it. It's like, what's the birthday? So, let's get to the scene. This scene right here is very somber. In the sense that, like, if you've ever had anyone pass away, and it's their birthday, and they're already gone, and you remember their birthday, it's like my grandfather. I remember my grandfather's, death day. I remember my grandmother's death day. And then that's a hard time for my dad. That's a hard time for my dad. So I always make sure I call him, try to see him around those times, because I know he has a hard time dealing with it. And just imagine if your parents died and it's your parents' birthday and they've been gone for years. You'll never forget their birthday, and it'll always be a day where you can't get away from the thought of them. And even though there are some appreciating it, like, see them appreciating it here, and but everyone else, they all kind of have like a somber look on their face, and they're all staring at the cake, because that cake is representative of the memory of the person. The shoe, dude. Ugh. Oh, it's Asia. Okay, I was like, what is that noise? Alright, fighting back tears, an 18-year-old boy who spoke for the survivors said, "Grown-ups are constantly telling us to forget and cheer up. But we will remember and recollect our friends, because not forgetting them is what we can do at best. Just as we will remember them, please don't forget them." Wow, what a true story. Wow. What? That was all the clothes that came out of the accident? Prost's idea for an art installation at Park Avenue Armory in 2010. No one expected him to use so many clothes. Sitting at the center of the expansive installation was a 40-foot tall mound of clothing flanked by an industrial crane. Each piece of clothing was deposited on top of the mountain pile, symbolically carrying the souls of those who inhabited the clothes to a higher place. This might have been the inspiration for the clothes pile. The yellow ribbons behind, similar to the Sewol Ferry Yellow Ribbon campaign. Finally wakes up and runs in the same path as Rat Monster seeks justice for what happened. But they're all there. This scene symbolizes the event. If justice is achieved or not achieved, what's done is done. Your dead will not come back to life. Striking a match reminiscent of a scene in Little Match Girl, an old fairy tale, where every time she lights up a match, she sees her loved ones who passed away. In the previous scene, he was alone, but after striking a match, he had everyone around him. Huh. No, I didn't notice the clothes pile outside the train. For the first time in many years, snowflakes would not be able to form if the temperature is sub-zero, so he realized that somewhere outside the Earth is slowly warming up again. Huh. He's not wrong. And then they're all in the train, they're woke. Tree represents hope in a new life, spring day. I didn't say anything because the tree was dead. I didn't know what to make of it. The shoes to commemorate the dead. I knew it was something. I didn't know that's what that was, though. Wow, what a good video. I'll watch the credits just so, Do Piano. So if you guys ever want to know what I use for my streams, I use Do Piano songs. Great job. Great job. It makes me wonder if that's the Do, like the YouTube guy. Because he plays piano, and I wonder if that's him. But I use his songs for all my stream intros. Most of the time. I've got a couple that aren't, but like I love his covers of BTS. Their covers of BTS. I don't know if it's a guy or a girl. Crazy, dude. Way to go, keeping all the sources in there. Good job. Good job. Who did that video? Let's see who did that video. Okay, so this was done by Bulletproof Vibes. Good job. My dude, my guy, my girl, my person. Good job. That was super informative. I really liked it. I felt like it covered a lot. I feel a little bit more connected to this now, and I think that we can watch it through one more time and get a gist on what this is going to be about. and appreciate it a little bit more. And I think just for reminiscence sake, we should. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that.